Hello everyone, and welcome back to channel name, your go-to source for in-depth analysis of current events. Today, we're talking about something that sounds like it's straight out of a disaster movie, a massive sinkhole in Japan's Yashio city. Imagine you're sipping your morning coffee, scrolling through your phone, when suddenly, you hear a deep, guttural rumble from beneath your feet. The ground shakes, cracks form like a spider web, and then, boom! A giant hole appears, swallowing roads, vehicles, and even the confidence people once had in their city's infrastructure. That's exactly what happened on the 28th, and the ripple effects are still spreading. This isn't just about a hole in the ground. It's a hole in Japan's infrastructure planning, emergency response, and urban development. Today, we're going to break this down into 5 major areas: the cause of this disaster, the science behind sinkholes, why rescue operations are struggling, the broader implications for Japan's urban future, and what lessons we should take away from this. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have a whole new perspective on what's happening beneath our feet. First, let's talk about the cause. How does a sinkhole like this even happen? It turns out, there are 3 major possibilities: aging infrastructure, Japan's underground time bomb. Picture this. Japan's cities are like towering skyscrapers, sleek and modern on the surface, but beneath them lies a labyrinth of underground tunnels, pipelines, and sewage systems, many of which were built decades ago. Over time, these pipes develop leaks, slowly washing away the soil that holds everything together. It's like pulling a single block from a Jenga tower. Remove enough support, and eventually, the whole thing collapses. This isn't speculation. Japan has faced multiple infrastructure-related sinkholes in recent years, with the 2016 Fukuoka sinkhole being a prime example. Geological factors. Japan's shaky ground. Japan isn't called the land of the rising sun and shifting earth for nothing. Sitting atop the Pacific Ring of Fire, the country constantly experiences earthquakes and subtle ground shifts. Even minor tremors can weaken underground support structures, and when combined with heavy rainfall, you get a recipe for disaster. Think of it like an ice cube melting in your drink. It looks solid at first, but give it time, and it crumbles away. Urban overdevelopment. The cost of expansion. Cities are like living organisms, constantly expanding, evolving, and pushing their boundaries. But when rapid development ignores the natural stability of the ground, it's like stacking too many books on a weak shelf. It's bound to collapse eventually. Subways, underground malls, and parking garages place additional stress on the ground, and without proper reinforcement, collapses like the Yashio sinkhole become inevitable. Now, let's move on to the science behind sinkholes. Have you ever wondered why some places seem more prone to these disasters than others? The Yashio sinkhole, however, appears to be caused by a mix of human-made and natural factors. Engineers will have to conduct extensive soil testing to determine the exact composition of the ground, and whether underground water flow contributed to the collapse. Now, why is the rescue operation so difficult? You might think, it's just a hole. Can't they just fill it in? If only it were that simple. The problem is twofold. The sinkhole is expanding. This is not just a static crater. It's a growing beast. Think of a crack in your windshield. At first, it's a tiny line. But as you drive over bumps and temperature changes stress the glass, the crack spreads. That's exactly what's happening underground. The fire department reported that 2 separate pits merged into one massive crater around 2:30 a.m., meaning that the foundation around the sinkhole is still unstable. If rescue workers move in too soon, they could become victims themselves. Water accumulation, a hidden enemy. Another issue is that water has started to pool inside the sinkhole, whether from broken underground pipes, natural groundwater, or rainfall. This water is making the situation even more dangerous. It acts like quicksand, further eroding the remaining soil and making any rescue efforts incredibly risky. Emergency teams have to consider water extraction before moving in heavy machinery. So what does this mean for Japan's future? Well, there are 2 major schools of thought. 1. The proactive approach. Invest in prevention. Advocates for proactive investment argue that this disaster is a wake-up call. They believe Japan must overhaul its aging infrastructure, deploy AI and sensor technology to detect underground weaknesses, and implement stricter construction regulations. This would be costly but could prevent future catastrophes. 2. The reactive approach, business as usual. Others believe this is an isolated incident, and that Japan's emergency response system is already among the best in the world. They argue that once the hole is filled and the damage repaired, life will go on as normal. Critics of this approach warn that ignoring deeper structural issues could lead to even bigger disasters in the future. To wrap up, let's go over the key takeaways. A massive sinkhole appeared in Yashio City, trapping people and affecting 1.2 million residents. Potential causes include aging infrastructure, geological instability, and urban overdevelopment. Rescue efforts are slow due to the continued expansion of the sinkhole and water accumulation. The future hinges on whether Japan takes a proactive or reactive approach to infrastructure management. So, what do you think? Should Japan invest heavily in sinkhole prevention, or is this just an unlucky event? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you found this analysis useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, stay safe and stay informed.